we got HSA 2 out of our building. And with that, there was a little bit of space left, and she came back with HSA 5. So now we have HSA 5, grades 1 and 2. So she needs to expand, and she wants 3 more classes on the floor with a middle school. I don't know if you know what middle school is like, but the kids are very difficult. You would not want your kindergarten children with middle school children. They don't care. Oh, and I'm so proud to see so many parents here, because I've never really been at a meeting where I've seen so many parents. And I tell you, the one thing that the Moskowitz don't like is a group like this, and she don't like a scandal. You find out where she's going to be, and you go there and you rally her. She'll bring busloads of parents in your school, so you need to get here. What we did, we kept the kids in our school, we fed them, the teachers got together and we paid for dinner, and we kept the kids and we saved a seat for their parents, busloads of parents from all the other schools she had, and they must come, and they pay the parents to come. We don't have that kind of money to pay. But if you're concerned about your child's education, please continue to support this school.
And I stand here in joint unity with parents from 145 and 165, the CIF, and other concerned community members interested in the success and future of our community schools. And I'd like to bring up 4 points. First point, no urgent decisions to be made by the DOE without full participation of our schools and community. Second point, discussions about co-location of schools and rezoning be a fair and equitable process benefiting children and our communities. Third point, community schools like PS145 and PS165, which services all children, including children with special needs, should not be pushed aside by the goals of corporate interests and the PPC under the guise of underutilized space. And finally, desegregate our district and give the Upper West Side schools the respect that it deserves.
Express our appreciation to CEC3 to support PS165 and any school facing a co-location. There's no room at PS241 either. I work in a closet right now where I counsel students. I'd like to share some of our community's experiences with Harlem Success Academy, which we've shared space with for over a year now. I heard recently that Ms. Moskowitz stated that there are only 3 schools in District 3 worth attending. I was introduced to Ms. Moskowitz in Harlem Success Academy a couple of years ago. HSA was looking for a new building, so Ms. Moskowitz sent HSA parents to a public hearing at my school, where they yelled and screamed that my school was a failure, and that HSA should be given our building because of it. Sound familiar? You know, school's a failure, school's not worth attending. That very same year, my school became one of the top 10 schools in New York City in test score improvement. We received no apologies from Ms. Moskowitz HSA. PS241 received an A on its report card and became the 130th ranked school in New York City. We now know that co-location had nothing to do with our academic performance and everything to do with Ms. Moskowitz getting what she wanted. Despite all of our accomplishments, the DOE has taken more and more classroom space from us each year. They pushed our K-2 students into our building's basement, next to a boiler room, and eliminated our feeder grade for enrollment, a pre-K, all to give more space to Harlem Success Academy. My school community foolishly played nice with HSA and cooperated with the DOE, and believed that if we did well academically, we would be treated fairly. We were wrong. Harlem Success Academy only takes space from public schools, and Ms. Moskowitz has lied about our school and she has done with ours. I'm sorry. Classrooms have been created in our basement where children at my school were treated as a lower class of student. If you wanted, you could say PS241 is being sabotaged or undermined, but please don't say we are co-located with HSA. We're being replaced. The DOE is unwilling to say this is their plan. because it might upset us. But we're here to speak the truth. So the PS241 community doesn't want to see this happen to any other school. So we advise all public schools facing co-location to make as much noise as you possibly can. This is very encouraging. Work hard to keep HSA out of your building because it could mean the end of your school.
Thank you, Darren. Academy, one, is a non-public school. We're talking about property issues. Property, your education that you get from the Department of Education is a gift. It's an intellectual property. So you have to fight for it the same way you fight for your car, for your apartment, and due process is required. So in addition to what goes on with the Department of Education, there's another process. This property that belongs to you, which is the buildings, you have a right as the people to say, well, wait a minute, we may not want this building to go to a private entity. So they're gonna get this message, okay? It may start here, but I want everyone to be on board with this. Thank you so much.
Sure. I'd like to stress the following 3 points. One is that no decision should be made about co-locations of schools, about rezoning, about anything else that impacts our children's schools and education without full community participation. That means hands off our schools until we determine together what is in the best interest of our children. I believe that the process by which the co-location of West Prep into 145 has been proposed and pushed forward has been misrepresented by the DOE and has not had the genuine community process it deserves. Second, we live in a district that is extremely segregated and unequal, one of the most in our city. Any proposals that get made should, first and foremost, have a commitment to equity and fairness. That should be the lens through which we consider any and all proposals. It is unconscionable for policies and practices to be put in place that further entrench the system of inequality we now have. And finally, there is this pervasive untruth that gets promoted that the only good schools in our district are those where there are large numbers of white and middle-class families. This is nonsense. That white families are not flocking to some of our schools is not because these schools aren't good. Schools like PS165 and 145 are wonderful, inclusive community schools that deserve to flourish.
In terms of why we're fighting here, just this past July and June, they approved 125 more charter schools for New York City. Who did that? The Democratic Party with the race to the top. Ask Mr. Perkins what he voted. Ask Mr. O'Donnell what he voted. They supported that as well. The UFT has supported it. Ms. Melissa Viverito sent a letter to Albany supporting the charter schools. I'm going to speak truth. We have to stop the race to the top and the charter schools because we don't want charter schools in in this district. We don't want them in 5.
Thank
They're
you.
private.
Thank you. Mr. Gonzalez, thank you.
Is no space in 149. My special ed, see, you can't touch 811 anymore. So you want to mess with 149, but we're family. My special ed children are not going in a closet. And I'm going to say this for my physical therapist person. She's tired of walking around with a mat, going to the little staircase so she can do therapy with the children. She's tired of running around trying to find a spot. There is no room. I only have one 6th grade, one 8th grade. How am I a school? How am I functioning? I thank God for Miss Hopper for standing up and helping us to clean house. We are not going anywhere, I don't care. And DOE, I love y'all. But y'all be making too many people too many promises. Y'all tell Eagle one thing, y'all tell us one thing. There is no space in 149. As long as my kid is there, I'm not going anywhere but to jail.
Been listening to your concerns. And in fact, I'm very happy to say that we are adjusting some of our proposals as a result.